Hello, hello. Hello, hello. We made it. Another live stream. Y'all, I'm tired. Yeah, it's been a rough last couple of weeks for me between taxes and also WPPI coming up, which I'll be traveling for that on Sunday. I've been doing this the content for those Sigma lenses, which I have to send those back soon, so I'm still trying to make more content. I had a wedding out in the mountains of North Carolina, so I'm just now getting back. Yeah, it's a lot. I'm tired, y'all. And then everything going on in the world right now. It's a lot. But, you know, we're here trying to do these monthly live streams. We're going to keep up with them as best we can and edit your photos. One big thing, which y'all already know, which is always the case, I did receive a fair amount of JPEGs. So if you're not seeing your photo in there, it's because it was a JPEG and it got deleted. We're only editing raw photos, no JPEG. So also there were a couple of photos that are DNGs, but they look like they're JPEGs as well. So I had to get rid of those also because they don't have the space and flexibility to be able to be edited. So yeah, sorry about that. But that's the rules and we'll keep up with it. But yeah, today's gonna be a short stream. I have too much going on. I have too much that I have to get ready and prepared for before I go to WPPI, which is why the back of my room is just a total mess and there's just so much going on. We got KH Camera in the house. Welcome to the stream, y'all. Hey John, thank you for everything you do to help others. No problem. Always happy to help out. But yeah, we got some beautiful submissions this time around. I'm loving all the photos. This stuff is looking good. But yeah, since our submissions are like lower this time around, I'm also gonna kind of critique the photos a bit too, because I only have like 52 photos, so that won't take me super long. It won't be one of those 5-hour streams. What is the way to send you a photo? Just want to know for the next time. So for the next time, generally how it works is I will post on Instagram and I'll also schedule out the live stream. So on my YouTube page, you should be able to see the live stream when it's scheduled, and in the description will be a link. Also on my Instagram. This time around, I didn't have a chance to post again because I usually post on Instagram like a day or two before. But like I said, I'm like swamped with work, so I can't. It's too much to edit. So this time around, I only post it once on Instagram, but generally I'll post like twice, maybe even 3 times. Excited to hear your thoughts on the new 23mm. Oh yeah, I'm getting it tomorrow actually. So I'm gonna bring it with me out to WPPI, get a chance to use it. I'm trying to see if I can line up a model now, maybe do a photo shoot session out there. I also have a styled shoot that I'll be doing as well. So I'll definitely get some hands-on with the 23, which will be awesome. My photos are 2 and 3, looking forward to the feedback. Awesome. Yeah, I saw this one, but I didn't find the link. Yeah, the link is it's usually in the description. It should have been there. Maybe I didn't put it in. Oh my goodness, Jesse always coming through with the super chat. Thank you so much. Sacramento coffee and pastries. That's definitely gonna that's gonna come in handy on my trip out to Vegas. Spark My Wedding? What a cool name. What is the software you use to sharpen your images after Lightroom? That is called Exposure, or Exposure software. That's what I use for that. Hold on, let me see if my bot's working. I still gotta, I'm not good at this whole streaming thing. But they're fun to do. Okay. CloudBot. Yeah, see, CloudBot ain't even on. Do you have to turn it on before you stream? Hey John, you're absolutely amazing. Thank you for teaching everything you know about photography. I've learned a lot about Fujifilm. Awesome, thank you so much. All right, let's jump in here. Let's start getting in here. See what we got. Got some good old Sony with a Viltrox 85. Malaysia's in the house. Welcome to the stream. Again, too, just for everyone, if you've never been in the stream, I'm using the Natural Fills preset, which is my preset that I use to edit my own photos, and also the preset that I sell myself. It looks like they shot this in possible Kelvin, so white balance was actually really easy. Here's our before and after. A cute shot. Sometimes these poses can be a little weird. Like, it's fine, but it can definitely end up being kind of wonko. Like, you see how their arms are held here? So they have to, like, stretch. But other than that, it works. Gorgeous shot. What's up, John? Hey, welcome to the stream. Best wishes from Lithuania. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, this shot looks good. I love that pink hair, too. It really leans towards my my magentas. Website reviews? Maybe I'll do that for the next stream, honestly. That'd be a good one. Here goes Brian with some shots. Good old Sigma Art 50, which was hands down one of my favorite lenses when I was shooting on Canon. Like, literally, it was my favorite lens. It's what got me on Sigma in the first place. Okay, so let's apply the preset. And so everybody's backlit here. So we're gonna go ahead and do our subject select, which again tends to be ridiculous. Look at that. It's so good, so fast. I'm just gonna raise the shadows a bit on them. I don't wanna raise it too much because it'll look unnatural, but if I raise it a little bit on them, I'll be able to raise the whole scene and they won't look like totally crazy, basically. Everything is a bit too blue, so we're gonna warm it up. Throw in some magenta, as per always. Magenta, you always know magenta's gotta be in there. Photo just doesn't look right to me without magenta. Actually, I tend to be heavy-handed. I'm also gonna select the sky, I guess. I've talked about this before, but I tend to not do all this masking, but because it's so easy at this point, it's like, may as well. Save that sky just a little bit. So here's our before and after. I'm telling you, y'all, I'm thinking about making shirts. Maybe I'll just have like the warmth and the magenta bars, and then have the magenta like way over to the side. Yeah, this is a cute walking photo. What I generally like to do with a shot like this, though, the one thing I do that's a little different is instead of having like the groom carrying the dress, what I would do is have her carry her own dress. So like take it and wrap it around this arm so that they can still hold hands. And usually that looks fine. So that's just another way to do that also, because it gives the intimacy of them, but still lifting the dress up. Here goes another one, kind of the same scene. Let's straighten this horizon. And the edit this time is gonna be about the same, except I might not need to shadow save them so much because now they're not backlit. We have the light kind of coming from the side. So gotta warm it up, gotta crank up that magenta. But see, this is, if y'all can see it, I don't know how well y'all can see it, there's a time and place where you can see the magenta clearly taking over everything. That's when you've gone too far. You know, if it doesn't feel like magenta's overpowering everything, then you're good. Gonna select the sky again because it's easy. Generally, I don't do those type of edits, but it's easy. May as well. So here's our before and after here. This shot's fine. The other shot was a little bit better just because of the perspective. A shot like this, personally, I would have liked to see wider, just to give more context to what's happening. Also, if they were looking at each other, it'd make it a little bit better. But again, when it comes to critiquing photos, and I always talk about this again, it's like the whole hindsight is 20/20 type of thing. Like, someone can look at your photo and tell you what you could have done, but in the moment, things are very different. So whenever you're getting critiqued or getting feedback on your photos, don't ever feel bad about the feedback. Just take what you can from it and then try and do better for next time. Because again, while in the moment, we all do all kinds of stuff, you know? I make dumb mistake, like totally rookie mistakes all the time. Just because in the moment, I'm just like flowing through it, trying to get the shot, so. Beautiful shots, Brian. Thanks for submitting. Magenta over 9,000. Good morning, John. Wanted to stop by and say thank you for sharing my story on your stories. Yeah, no problem. All I can think when editing my first wedding. Magenta. Magenta man. Thank you, John, for editing these 2 photos. This was my first look, and thanks to you, I am shooting my first wedding. Awesome. Congrats on that. That sounds awesome. Got some Nikon action here. Cool little silhouette shot. I would black and white this. However, this stained glass window may still wanna give us some cool action, so we'll see what it looks like. So first off, you see how these highlights are just totally crushed? That's a little much. I'm gonna bring them up a tad. Yeah, and it's mainly because it's a silhouette shot. So I don't want my highlights to be totally crushed like that. Let's drop these shadows too, because it's supposed to be a moody shot. So here's our before and after. What are you chewing? I got some good old Altoids. I have like an addiction to just mints in general, so it's a problem. Let's actually see this one in black and white too. I think black and white would work out well for this. Yeah. Drop the shadows. Also, you see how like playing around with the highlights helps with this like light bleed. What's the verdict? Color or black and white? I'm actually thinking the black and white kind of brings the mood a little bit more. It looks nicer too with all those tones. Hi John, love your work. You've taught me a lot. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Yeah, I think I'm gonna lean towards the black and white one. Yeah, this black and white is good. Color is nice, but I really like the black and white. Here we go, a shot from Peter, which I love this pose overall. I'm not sure what this is in the back. What are those Crocs? Someone forgot to. That's the kind of stuff when you're doing like a dope photo shoot and then someone leaves something and you just don't see it because you're like so in the zone. And then when you notice, you're like, dang. There we go. Much better. Color's great. The red popping and stained glass window is great. Submit link. We're not doing any submissions during the stream this time. Generally, the submissions happen before the fact. Do you ever give clients black and white and color of the same photo? I do. It depends on the photo, but generally I will just pick what I feel works for the photo. Now, if the couple comes back to me and they're like, hey, could we see this in color? That's not a problem at all. And, you know, I'll pretty much make them, you know, the alternate version. But it's rare that I do both black and white and color. Oh, let me make sure the lens corrections are on. There we go. Dang, the song just stopped. Is that? All that beautiful magenta, because there's so much green. Here's our before and after. Drop these shadows back. Yeah, I like this pose. And getting rid of whatever those crocs were in the corner really helps the shot too. That thing was mad distracting. See my first wedding this summer. Been binging your videos. Awesome. Yeah, good luck on your video or your wedding. It's gonna be awesome. The orange reminds me of your past client. Oh yeah, because you had that orange suit. I feel like, yeah, I want just a tad more saturation. Yeah, it was like a little bit too desaturated. Here we go, a nice vineyard shot. CR2 is some kind of Canon. Yeah, gonna shadow save a bit, and then y'all already know what's happening with all that green cast. Gotta pump the magenta. Let's try saving the sky a little bit. Yeah, that works for me. Yeah, the auto selection stuff is so good. Cause seriously, I usually would never do sky selection and stuff like that. I just wouldn't. It was such a waste of time. But now, like, if it's an option, may as well do it. It doesn't really make editing any longer for me. So here goes our before and after. Y'all saw how high I pumped that magenta? Yeah, anytime something's green cast, but really it comes down to the skin tones. Like, everything was very green. Like, it was just too green. So I always get this question during streams. How do you decide if a photo's black and white? This is hands down a black and white. There's no question. That closeness and intimacy in this photo is immediate black and white. Color would be fine, but it doesn't have the same impact as having a close shot like this in black and white. I feel like too, it gives it more intention. When it's in color, to me, it just doesn't feel like, I mean, it works. I don't know. It feels like you shot too close by accident or something. Or it's like a magazine ad or something of that sort. To me, these close-up shots always punch way harder when they're black and white. because it's a good shot overall. So it works either way, but black and white is just, ugh. Lightroom changed the game with the update. Also, I purchased your preset and I use it on every photo. Awesome. But yeah, those the selection tool updates, it really is game changing. Because I literally I would just not bother doing paintbrush selections like that. I just wouldn't. Because I'd be like, this is too much. But yeah, black and white definitely. Either way, it's a great shot. But black and white definitely. Oh. This is dope too. Oh, we got a little bit of light painting going on. Oh, hey. It's my dude, David. I met him at WPPI last year. Yeah, this is a great shot. This might even work as black and white too. You won't get the same impact, especially because there's so much color, but it would still be a nice photo in black and white. But yeah, color is the way to go with this. So generally when you shoot like this, you have direct flash, which you could definitely tell. This is very much direct flash, which is fine. But when I'm shooting reception stuff like this and I'm shooting direct flash, I usually pump the highlights back up, because if you suck them out like this, can y'all see that? You like can't, the skin tones look like, you know, like you're eating up the skin tones because you're sucking out the life that the light is bringing to the skin. So generally I like my highlights all the way sucked out like that, but on a shot where the light's like direct, you have to put some more highlight back in there or the photo's gonna look all weird. But see, this is my preset. You see how much that barely changed? That's kind of like the point. I just want to like enhance the photo some. Like it shouldn't really change your photo that heavily. Do you ever go for street photography? I do. Unfortunately, when I really started getting into photography, I moved away from New York, because in New York there was a lot of opportunities to shoot street. Here in North Carolina, like there's nothing happening around here. You know, like there's just nothing happening. So street doesn't really work as well. We got TD photography. We're rocking looks like Fuji with a 35 f2, one of my favorite lenses. That 33 f1.4 though is like life-changing. That thing. This might work in black and white too. I mean, yeah, that's good right there. Let's see a black and white version. What scenario would you use the high contrast preset? Honestly, me personally, I probably wouldn't use it. I created that just as some options, because I know, you know, I can't just be like, this is what I like and it's the only thing. But personally for me, the high contrast one is a little too punchy. I like my photos not flat, but like they're fairly flat. Like, you know, let's just be real. Color wise and tone wise, they're very almost pastel-y and flat. The high contrast is way too punchy for me. That could definitely be a filmic black and white, yeah. And that's what I usually, my black and whites, I usually add a lot of grain to them. I've shown that before. Let's export these two photos real quick. So my export process, let's see. I think I have a photo for, yeah, YouTube. So if I were delivering these photos, they would be no resize, resolution is 300 PPI, sharpen for screen, and then we're gonna open an exposure. I'm currently on exposure X7, so we export that. Oh goodness. Oh. So here we are in exposure. So there's a little bit of sharpening added. Remember, I don't sharpen in Lightroom, so there's some sharpening, just screen sharpening, and then I sharpen on the JPEG stage. So here's my black and white, and you see it adds a little bit more contrast and grain to give it that almost film kind of look. So I like my black and whites like super grainy like that. Here's this other photo as well, same thing. That you see that bit of contrast being added. And yeah, that's how I get to my final look. Which is better, Lightroom or Photoshop? They're kind of the same thing. If you're mainly only doing photos, like if you're editing photos and that's it, and you're not doing any heavy retouching or something like that, then I would say Lightroom is better, just because it's easier for sorting and having groups of photos. But if you're the type of person who's working on like one photo at a time and you're retouching it heavily, then Photoshop. Just in case anyone is wondering, it's tomato juice. I was wondering, I was like, it was like, what's in the tub? Hi John, is there any grain added in the natural fills preset? Yes, there is. So for what I use when I'm using it at home, for my full process, there's no grain or sharpening in Lightroom. But for the natural fills preset that I sell, I did add sharpening and grain inside of Lightroom. However, if you want my full-blown process, I do sell the exposure sharpening and grain preset as well. And then what you would do is you would turn down the sharpening and grain in Lightroom and then export it and use exposure. But I don't know how many people actually use exposure, so, but I do sell it on the site. Why not sharpen in Lightroom? In Lightroom, especially for Fuji, you get worms. So I just sharpen on the JPEG stage, which I actually like because I feel like it makes the photos sharper. But yeah, you get worms with Fuji files, so that's how I combat having worms. Why you don't use DxO Photolab instead of exposure? I just never used it. I like exposure. Its grain looks very realistic, like very, very film realistic. I would love to submit. How can I do for next stream? This is my first time stopping by. Hey, welcome to the stream. Generally, I schedule the stream out and you'll see a link inside the description. Also, if you follow my Instagram, I post on there. So this shot is great. My only problem with it is, especially when someone's getting your, like, she looks like her bridesmaid is pinching her ankle or something, and she's like trying not to scream about it or something, you know what I mean, like taking a deep breath so it doesn't hurt as much. Generally them kind of looking at each other and laughing would be a little bit better here, but this photo to me is black and white. Yeah, I can't really tell what's happening with her expression. I think that's the thing that stands out to me the most. She looks like she's very much like, oh, dang, these shoes are mad tight. First stream I'm able to make it to. I'll have to submit for the next one. Awesome. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks. Can you explain or show an example of worms? Yeah, let's, this is the food, what camera is this? X-T4. So I'm gonna make another virtual copy. And I'm going to reset it. All right, so we gotta go in like 200%. And this is something with just how Lightroom deals with Fuji files. But basically, if I'm just editing a photo in Lightroom, right? And I'm like, I might have to, actually, I gotta go in further than 200%. And I'm like, great, let me sharpen, right? So, turn up my radius a little bit, get my detail popping, and I turn sharpening up. And I'll sharpen this hard usually, like 90 something. But look at, you see that? You see this like weird artifact thing? That's what worms are. It shouldn't look like this. It only does it on Fuji files, I'm pretty sure. So this is why I don't sharpen in Lightroom. Because you see, look, now Reggie, what he showed me is that if you turn details down, it gets rid of the worms. You see that? Also, if you turn up the masking. And so now it looks pretty fine as far as sharpening is concerned. So you can sharpen Fuji files, you just can't do detail, because the moment you do detail, you start getting these worms. Oh, it's not so bad because I have masking. You see, like the moment masking comes down. So generally what I would do is, if I was sharpening in Lightroom, I would put my masking way high, turn my details all the way down, and then I can sharpen that way. But honestly, I just like the way the sharpening looks coming through exposure. It looks great. Man, this lighting. These are those days. Whereas like if we do like a Canon file, this was Canon, right? So we'll reset this. Where am I? I'm so zoomed in, I don't even know what's happening anymore. Let's go to 400. So same thing. Put my radius up some, turn the sharpening up. I mean, actually this is worming their stuff too. And see, this is why what about the worms? I don't know, man. But yeah, that's why I don't sharpen in Lightroom. Does it do the artifacting too on the GFX camera? I've never tested it, but I would assume it does. My first camera was a 6D. Yeah, 6D is a great starting camera. That was my first camera as well. If you hold down the Alt key and move the mask slide, you can see how much. Oh yeah, I always forget about that. Here we are again. Here's a photo from Greg. This is a great shot. I think this is the same. Yeah, so this is the same wedding. And see, this shot is so much more like, I don't know, there's just a lot happening. I also love the fact that it's such a wide focal length, so close. Whereas this one, I don't totally know what's happening. Her emotion and just, I get she's putting shoes on, but it doesn't look like she's enjoying it. This shot's great. And it looks like we don't need the shadow save. I was debating if we needed the shadow save or not. A little bit of lens flare coming through. It looks great. Here's our before and after. Hey, first time in stream, but always watching your videos. Oh, awesome. Welcome to the stream. I downloaded Imagine AI a few days ago and sent a few pictures as a test. It is amazing how well it does. Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. Like, really, I could do these whole live streams and just be like, throw it to Imagine AI and have it come back. Actually, you know, we should do that. We should, maybe I'll reset all the photos and try it out and see how it comes through. So here's another photo because it's so dark and moody that I need to bring those highlights back. Just a little bit so the skin looks a little bit more natural. Yeah, and that looks good to me. Here's our before and after. I have a Canon 80D and I get that sometimes when I raise exposure, mad annoying. Yeah, especially a lot of times with those older cameras. And that's the same thing like with Fujifilm and crop sets. People, oh, can't shoot weddings with Fujifilm. You just have to know the camera. That's just like basic photography. It has nothing to do with the camera itself. You, the photographer, needs to know the camera and its limits and how to best utilize it, not just blame the camera all the time. That's why photographers are always so mad when people are like, wow, great photo, you must have a nice camera. But y'all sit there depending on your camera so hard anyway, so obviously people think that because that's how y'all talk about it. No one's like, I can use any camera and take dope shots. No one does that. No one says that. Everyone's always, what camera should I get? What's the best camera? Well, how can I just get a camera and learn it? You know, you'll take great shots. You can do it. It's possible. And obviously, certain cameras have their own limitations, and some cameras do a little bit better at certain things. You know, image quality can be a little bit better, but it's not like, you know, a great shot is a great shot, regardless of the camera. So that's my biggest. I always harp about that. That's why, be careful coming in this stream asking me questions about cameras, because you're gonna get you're gonna get a long explanation about how it actually doesn't really make that big of a difference. And that's half the problem, is you have all these photographers running around, and I'm not trying to act like I'm not probably one of them as well. I'm not that tenured in photography, but you know, like all these photographers running around always trying to get the next new camera, but they're not skilled photographers because they're always depending on their camera to figure it out for them. And when the camera doesn't figure it out well enough for them, then they complain, oh, the camera's not good, I need the next thing. Great shot here. Here's our before and after. It's a very, very warm photo overall. What kind of monitor do you recommend? I've always been a fan of BenQ monitors. They're fairly priced, and the colors on them is great. That's what I'm on right now. That's what I've always edited on, is some kind of BenQ monitor. I'm a tad bit late, but I'm glad I made it here. Welcome to the stream. Before my 6D, I was killing it with the T. Yeah, yo, the T3i was like a life-changing camera when it came out, especially for anyone starting. Such a good little camera. I had a T3i at first too, but what happened to me is I booked a wedding before I was really ready for it, but it was a year out, so I freaked out and started like trying to buy gear and stuff. So I moved from the T3i to the 6D. This is a cool shot. I like how wide it is. I'm always a fan of a wide shot. The best camera is the one you have if you learn how to use it. Exactly. And again, yes, some cameras have advantages over others which in certain areas, but the thing is, like, it's like high-level artistry. And I've talked about this before, like, you know, like an oil paint artist who's like very particular because they have to use some certain brand of brush, so everybody thinks, oh, that means that brush is the greatest brush ever. It may not be, but that brush gives that artist exactly what they want, and they know how to use it. And the nuances of what make that brush great, you will never even feel or know because you're just not good enough. So it's the same difference. If you see like a pro level wedding photographer who's been shooting for 20 years and they swear by like whatever Canon camera that they use and whatever lenses, for us as the newer photographers, we shouldn't just be like, well, because they shoot with that, I need to get it because it's the best. No, there's things about it that are good on the level that these top level photographers are at. And you're not there yet, so you won't even be able to tell the difference. I've talked about art like that a lot, where there's a threshold of what's good to like the general public. You know what I'm saying? And then I compare it to, if anyone's ever watched Dragon Ball Z, you know, like, you know, when someone's like really low level power and super high power level people start fighting and they're like, I can't even see it, what are they doing? And everyone else is watching the fight. and the person who's too low level, they don't even see the people anymore. They just see like flashing and stuff. That's what it's like. There's a level of expertise or something where you just literally can't see it. So you can tell something's good, but you don't know how good, you know, because you literally can't see it until your power level is high enough, and then you can actually see it and you can really appreciate like, wow, this is really good. And it's like that with cameras, you know, like, yes, whatever Sony camera, whatever Fuji film camera, or whatever Canon camera is the best, but you're not even good enough to know. So to buy it, it's just like, that's great that you have the best one, but you're not even utilizing it at this point because you can't even see what is good about it. I've always talked about that. The Dragon Ball Z example is exactly how I explain it too. For anyone who's ever watched Dragon Ball Z, it's literally, it's like that. Like, I can't remember, I don't remember all the episodes, but it was like when Gohan was like real young. And it was like, it was probably when Goku and Vegeta were first fighting, like when Vegeta first came, you know, and everyone's like, ugh, he's so powerful. And then he does his Kaioken, and he's like, it's over 9,000. And they're all just going crazy, and everyone else, like, Yamcha's barely, they can't see it. They're like, I can't even follow him. It's like when you see people buying pieces of art for like 10,000 or 100,000, $1 billion. And you're looking at it like, it looks like a bunch of paint lines to me, you know? It's the same difference. There's something about it that you just can't see because you're not even at the level yet. Preach that anime gospel. Oh, this shot's dope. This is the same. This one's cool, but I really like this one. I'm a big fan of foreground blur. I'm a Fuji shooter around 8 years, and I'm always learning Fuji. Exactly. Church on a Friday morning. Have you ever thought about switching to the GFX system? I have. It is a great system. It is an absolutely amazing camera system. I use it every chance I get, but I can't do weddings with it. I've done a wedding with it, and it worked, and it was fine. And it was like, it was awesome. And I can show y'all, I actually just did a styled shoot at a hotel in the area that's trying to do weddings as well. So I did a style shoot there, and the photos are awesome. But the GFX system works so much better for like engagements, portraits, and maybe elopement weddings. Or if I had the staff who could carry stuff for me, I would bring the GFX with me just for like portraits and stuff, and getting ready portraits and maybe the ceremony. But then the rest of the day I would switch back to the XT series. So yeah, I've thought about it, but it's really pricey, and it's not fast enough. And again, whenever I say, I hate saying that because people will just take it and be like, oh, GFX is slow. It's not slow. For a medium format camera, it's actually ridiculously fast. It's super surprising. But I'm just so used to my XT3s and XT4s shooting at like 8, 9, 10 frames a second, so that when something happens at a wedding and I just barely catch it, I can just go and get it real quick. GFX, something happens, you're like, and it's like, focus, and you missed it, you know, like. So if you want to be on top of everything, but again, I know photographers who shoot medium format for weddings, so it really comes down to your approach. I have still a very like run and gun style. So again, everyone hates on me for my full wedding day. It's good to like, oh, you're directing everyone too much. That's only when I'm taking certain photos. For the majority of the day, it's pretty much very photojournalistic style. And because of that, I need to be able to like turn quick and get something and be like, oh, something's happening, and get it. And hear someone doing something and be like, oh, this, and get it. GFX can't keep up with that. But if you have a very like loose style where you're just kind of shooting and you're kind of prepared for the photo coming up and things like that, GFX would be beastie. Also too, you can crop like the world. Crop the whole world, the world. Here's our before and after. So yeah, GFX is dope. I really would, if it shot like 7 to 8 frames a second, no question, I'd be on GFX quick. But yeah, at that 6 frames, and the fact that, oh, this is the same shot, yeah. This was this other couple here. Yeah, the fact that it's medium format and it takes it a little bit to focus. Again, it's not slow, but it's just a lot for the camera. Because of that, yeah, black and white might work better here. Oh, that's, oh goodness. But because of that, I can't switch to GFX. I would love to, but it's not totally there for me yet. I do have a wedding though. I shot dual GFX and I got behind the scenes footage of it. So I would really like that to be my next full wedding day video, is watching me shoot the GFX. And if y'all want to see that too, like, leave some likes on this live stream. Let's make a virtual copy and see it in black and white. It's a hard call because they're both really good. For the black and white, we need to save that sky though. Color of black and white. How y'all feeling? I still have my T3i. It's a good camera. It was such a good camera. I quickly learned after buying a GFX that it's on situation specific camera. Yeah, it really is a very specific camera. Like, you can't just take it to everything. But on the same end, there's so many like advantages. Like, because it's 102 megapixels, you can just shoot wide and be like, I'm gonna crop in. Yeah, I think I prefer the black and white too, actually. But yeah, that orange coming through is actually popping pretty hard on the color. A link for the preset. I think this works. This is Fujifilm, good old 35 f2. This looks like it's on the scene of a movie, I would assume. Bro, what's with my music? I don't understand. My music is over here hating. What happened? My music. Oh well, okay. Yeah, this also might be a black and white as well. Don't you love raw files? Look at the, what camera is this? XT4. Y'all saw that dynamic range? That orange is a little heavy. Command Q. I don't want to quit my whole thing. Here's our before and after. Oh look, music's happening. Time to black and white it. So many shots have had me like question if I should black and white or not. This is like the first time on a stream where I've had so many where I'm like, maybe black and white, maybe black and white. I think they both work. Raw files are the best files. Always. Cause yeah, y'all saw how dark that thing was. I brought it back. I always loved that. I love being at weddings and being in a dark room and people being like, do you want to turn on lights? And I'm like, no, actually. And they're like, why? It's mad dark. And I'm like, we're fine. We're good. Like Reggie says, low light doesn't mean bad light. You can still get good light even when you have low light. I have a serious question for you. How did you lose weight? I can't wait for this wedding season. But my back. So for my weight loss, I mainly did calorie counting. So I put myself in a caloric deficit by lowering my calories and just simple workout. The workout I did, it's on YouTube. It's one of my favorites, actually. I did it in the past and got in shape too, which is why I always go back to it. Let me see. It's called the 16-week ab workout. And it's basically a Monday, Wednesday, Friday workout. And then I would do cardio pretty much on all days. And it's very body weight stuff. So you can do it at home. I lost my 35 pounds at home. But the biggest part of my weight loss was the calorie counting. And really paying attention to serving sizes, which can be annoying because you don't realize how bad serving sizes are until you really pay attention to it. So it's like I'll get a bag of chips, right? You're like, yeah, I'm about to eat some chips. And then you look at the serving size and it's like servings. There's 20 servings in a bag. And you're like, oh, how much is a serving? 5 chips. And you're like, okay. And it's like 200 calories for 5 chips. And so then you have to sit down and think, do I really want to eat these 5 chips? Or should I save this 200 calories on some real food? Or should I save these 200 calories on broccoli? And while broccoli may not be the most, fun thing to eat, 200 calories of broccoli is like a lot of broccoli. So David, this is his image. Let's do it. Boom. Boom. It's a little too warm for my liking, so I'm gonna auto. And that didn't do much. Cool it down just a bit. I always love these leading lines. If anything, I guess I could center them up more. I love broccoli. I mean, yeah, broccoli's my jam. I used to eat it raw like all the time. But yeah, it's just calorie count. It's surprising. I didn't do anything amazing. And also too, calorie counting, I wasn't limiting myself to what I wanted to eat. Like I would still have ice cream like 2 times a week. It's just I had to have 1 serving of ice cream, which was literally like half a scoop. But that was it. But that was enough. Like I could still eat what I wanted to. It just, I had to be within the portions. I was eating like ribeye steaks and stuff. I was eating stuff. It was good stuff. You just had to limit it, and that's all. So it is a little rough depending on how low you put your calories, but the smart thing to do is like to slowly lower your calories. I kind of went hard fast for like no reason. I haven't been doing it for a little bit, so I've gained like 5, almost 10 pounds back, but I feel a lot better than I was, which is the main point. Hi John, please help. I entered a typo on the email on my purchase for the bundle. Did you buy it like just now? Oh yeah, you did buy it just now. Go ahead and shoot an email to that email and I'll get you a new link. Or actually, I wonder if he'll let me uh-oh. What, man? Yeah, email's probably the easiest way. Let's see. Oh, cool. Actually, what's your email? I can just do it this way too. Oh, wait, I think I see the typo. Is it supposed to be photography at the end? Ramosa, Ramos, a photography, right? Okay, I just resent the digital goods email, so hopefully you'll get that. Here's our before and after. Again, keeping the colors pretty similar, pretty much general. Yeah, I be mistypoing photography all the time. I also hate when I go to places and they're like, "What's your email?" And I have to be like, JBIV photography, and they're like, people don't write the word photography often, I guess, so they're like, how do I spell it? So it looks like focus is a little bit off for this one, but these are hard shots to pull off and get them all the way right. Whenever my white balance is this jacked, I always immediately do auto first to see what Lightroom wants to do with it, and then from there I start my editing. But yeah, the focus on this was off. When I do ring shots like this, I try to focus on this main part of the ring. Also, you could have stopped down a little bit harder than F2. Other than that, great shot though. Here's our before and after. Also too, I like, instead of just sitting the rings beside each other, I like to kind of like overlap them. I'll show y'all some pictures from a wedding I just did. We got Mexico in the house. Welcome to the stream. Do you instruct people on how to smile, form, body? Not really. That's actually, so that's what I'm talking about at WPPI. I have a presentation on what I call like natural posing. I don't like my posing to be too controlled, to where I'm like telling people how to smile and where to look exactly and where to put their hands. That's too like studio-esque style posing. I like my moments to be a little bit more real. So while I am directing a wedding couple, I want them to be really doing stuff. And so because of that, my posing is more about the feeling of things than necessarily like put your hand here and turn your elbow here and turn your hip out. I don't do a lot of that. This is a cool shot. Again, this is at night. There's flash being used. I'm gonna kick that highlight back in just a little bit. Yes, cool it down just a little bit. And yeah, I think that's the shot. Here's our before and after. Question, why Fuji instead maybe Sony system? Fuji's just what I kind of found. I've never really been a fan of Sony as far as like most of their stuff aside from like the PlayStation. But like, yeah, at the time I was shooting Canon and I was probably gonna stick with Canon, but my mentor, he shot Fujifilm and he had me try it, and Fuji feels good. Like Fuji made taking photos for me fun again. It didn't really feel too much like a job, you know what I mean? So that's really why, because again, I harp on it all the time, but like what you use really doesn't matter. You can use anything, like camera systems or whatever. So yeah, some are better than other ones and whatever, but I like Fujifilm and it works for me, and the photos I take are awesome. So yeah, Team Canon. Yeah, I would still be on Canon if it wasn't for the Mark IV being so expensive and the 6D Mark II not having a dual card slot. Because yeah, I was shooting on 6Ds and I finally got to a point where I was like, you know what, I want to start using a dual card slot system, because every wedding I was like paranoid that something was going to happen. So I was like, let me go ahead and just get a dual card slot system. And they were about to announce the 6D Mark II, and I was just like, please God, let it have dual card slots. And it didn't. And the Mark IV was like $4,000 or $5,000, which at the time was way too much for me. So my mentor shot Fuji, and he had the X-T2 at the time, and I was shooting for him, and he was like, yo, try this out. And I tried it, and I was like, oh my God. I was like, this is amazing. And yeah, so I immediately switched. Half of the amazement of Fujifilm was the fact that it was mirrorless too. Like, I had never used a mirrorless camera, so like having the viewfinder be digital and like seeing exactly what the photo would look like in the thing, it was just life-changing. I have an XT30 and bought the A7 IV, and it's another world. I was Canon, but I got the dark side. Now I'm Sony. So many, yeah. So I remember when everybody was switching to Sony. Everybody was switching to Sony. So look, this is exactly what I was talking about in the 7 mistakes video. They didn't make the mistake. He did it the right way. 24mm, standing far away from the couple. It's outside, it's bright. He's down at f7. It makes sense because you're not getting any bokeh. So go ahead and stop it down so that you can get your couple in focus. Look at that. Because especially these wide shots, you will miss this focus. You will immediately miss it. I do it all the time. Actually, it was dark, so I was wide open, but I did a wide shot, wide open at like a 16 mil, and I'm pretty sure it's like a little off or back focused or something. So, any comments on the Sony A6400? I've never really used any of the Sony cameras, so I can't really say too much about them. So the one thing about this shot is that normally when I'm doing one of these type of like walking shots, really focus on making sure that you're getting motion in the legs. Because if you don't get the motion in the legs, it just looks like they're standing there. So he probably was walking, but they're like in the middle of the walk. So because of that, it looks like they were standing there and he's looking back at her. That's the only real feedback for this shot. I guess let's sky select. Here's our before and after. Oh, we done messed up. I need more magenta. There. That's better. It probably could be warmed up a little bit too, but I'm gonna leave it how it is. Here's a great shot. Straighten this horizon. Oh, there's nothing. Okay. And I'm gonna crop in a little bit just to center it up. It looks like it's too warm. Yeah. And then I love when my bridal party is wearing some kind of pink or blush, because I can magenta the whole thing as hard as I want to. Because the photo's already leaning magenta because they're wearing pink. Here's our before and after. What makes you switch? I shot Canon for 13 years. The last Canon. I mean, the main thing for me was the price and the weight. Again, like I was saying at the time, I was on the 6D. I wanted a dual card slot camera. 6D Mark II wasn't a dual card slot camera. 5D Mark IV was like $5,000, and it was too much. Meanwhile, I could buy an XT2 for like $1,500. So I could get two XT2s that were also dual card slot and get all the lenses I need for a total of the same amount I would buy the Mark IV for. So I was pretty much like, well, financially this makes sense. The cameras are dope. You know, they're small and light, so I'm not gonna destroy my back at every wedding. And I was like, it just makes sense. Because again, at the end of the day, a camera is a camera. We can sit here all day and argue about which camera is best, but if you know how to use the camera, it doesn't matter. And so that was kind of where I was coming from. Like, all I needed was to know how to use the camera, which I've proven now over like 8, well, no, it hasn't even been 8 years. I've only been on Fuji for like 4 or 5 years. But you know, I've proven for 5 years now that I know how to use a Fuji. And all the stuff that everyone's like, oh no, Fujis they can't do anything with. I've proven all that wrong. You know, like, I get great, beautiful shots all the time. You just have to, I mean, this is Fujifilm. This is great. 35 f1.4, is that the old one? Oh yeah, because the new one's the 33. And again, at the end of the day, someone looking at your photo is not going to see it and be like, this is totally a Sony shot. Maybe, but you know what I mean? Like, when you see a great photo, your first thought isn't what camera is this? And that, I think that's why photographers need to calm down. Always being so concerned about the camera. No one's looking at your photo and immediately being like, oh yeah, this is definitely Canon. No one's doing that. And if they are, like, that's cool, but they're probably not figuring that out. You know, all you're doing is looking at it and being like, this is a great photo. Wow. And then you can surprise them when you're like, I shot it on Fujifilm. Fujifilm? Is that film? You shoot film? No, it's, the company's called Fujifilm. This might be black and white. What? It's crop sensor? You shoot weddings on crop sensor? Yes. How? I take the photo. I put the camera to my eye. I focus with a half press of the shutter, and then I pull the shutter. I pull the shutter and I take the photo. That's how I do it. How? And then the question is always low light. That's the next question. How's low light performance? It's crop sensor. Oh God, there's no way. It gets dark. There's no way you can take photos. Yeah, the majority of all the photos y'all see of mine are all Fujifilm. All my ults, I like cycled everything out. So when I switched to Fujifilm, I slowly changed my portfolio all to Fujifilm, because you could kind of see the difference. I also started shooting very differently when I went to Fujifilm. So I slowly cycled out my portfolio to only Fujifilm stuff. There's some of my old Canon stuff floating around, but most everything you see is Fujifilm. Unless you go digging deep in the files, like deep down in my Instagram and stuff. Sepia? Oh. Spiegel. I thought someone said sepia. Why are we talking about sepia tone? Immediate magenta. Warm it up too. Get those skin tones looking good. And there we go. Here's our before and after. Have been doing TFP portraits lately. Hope taking portraits helped me build my portfolio and eventually enter wedding photography as a second shooter. You think this is a good strategy? That's a good way to start. If somehow you can get someone in a dress and someone else in a suit or whatever, taking photos like that or a styled shoot, that would help too. Sometimes it's good for photographers to see actual like wedding style photos. Like that will really help them out as well. But yeah, basically just doing what you can where you can is the main strategy. This photo's great. The only thing about it is just everyone's expressions. And it looks like they're walking, but we didn't catch enough of it. I don't mind the expressions, but I think it's the overall feel of the shot and kind of where they're looking. Like if they were kind of looking at each other, it would change a little bit. But it looks like they made a mistake. And they're like, dang, why did we get married, yo? And she's like, I don't know if I should. Oh no, she looks kind of happy. He looks hard. This is probably, they were a great couple to photograph. They look great. But yeah, that's my only gripe with this photo. It just feels like something's missing. It's not giving me enough. Y'all, I'm tired. I didn't even realize how tired I was until I sat down. Like, I'm really tired. Have you ever tried a dedicated button for like back button focusing? I've done it before. I think I still barely understand back button focus. I think it's something people do when they mainly use continuous autofocus. This is a cool shot. Kind of a cool different perspective going on. Using the 50 f2. I'm an award-winning winner photographer with Fuji. You must know your gear for exactly. Cause yeah, a lot of people will just, that's the thing. You win awards for your photography, not your camera. The only awards you're winning for your camera are coming from the camera companies themselves. Because obviously they want to be like, look at this great person shooting Canon. But like, other than that, you're not winning an award because you shoot Canon. No one cares. Camera is a tool. Like photographers, we need to find the best tool for our work. Yep, maybe it's full frame, APS-C, or micro four thirds, or medium format. Exactly, like it doesn't matter what it is, as long as you're taking great photos. This photo is extra cool. So something like this I would have shot in Kelvin, because when stuff's looking that cool in camera, like it's just too much. Also, sometimes, like, yes, you can white balance it after the fact, even though it's a raw file, but sometimes it just doesn't look right. But there's our before and after. Great shot. Fun intimacy. Here's a nice flat lay. Great job laying everything out. Using kind of the corners of the frame a little bit. I'm pretty strict about trying to have things straight. So you see here I'm using the actual invitation as the straightness, and it looks like it can maybe come. No. Nope, that was fine where it was. Hey John, just wanted to say thanks for the super in-depth wedding day video you made. Inspired me to get back into starting grinding again. Awesome. Glad you found it helpful. Uh-oh, why is it constraining the crop, bro? Here's our before and after. Check out that blue. I like the blue in my my preset. I like it a lot. Has the white balance ever been so out that you haven't been able to correct it? Sometimes, yeah, and usually that's when I black and white a photo. It's like sometimes when stuff is too blue, it just doesn't convert back right. It just ends up looking all jank. Is this the same wedding? Oh yeah, nice. I mean, yeah, this is the shot. I ain't had to do nothing. Again, with the natural fills preset, if your photo is well lit and it looks good and the lighting's fine, you don't have to do much of anything to the photo. Hey, Bad Habit, welcome to the stream. Hey, Osa. Osa's in the house. You gonna be at WPPI? Here's another great Sony shot. This lighting's a bit harsh, but it works still. Oh, snowed in. Oh, wow. I didn't know it was still snowing in places. Hey, Christina made it. Here's our before and after. If anything, I might warm it up a bit. Oh, we got a whole bunch of people coming in. Welcome to the stream, y'all. More snow in Toronto. Oh my God, y'all, I hate snow. The goat of lo-fi. Yo, I'm about to start producing lo-fi again myself. I got all the, I'm over here. I got all the lo-fi gear going. I got the stuff. I used to do music, y'all. This was me. Wow, 4 to 6 inches in mass. Yeah, I'm glad I don't live up there no more. I'm sorry, y'all. Not about that life. Hey, I don't know who that is who keeps talking about doing the TFP, but I thought I answered your question earlier. I don't know if you heard it, but that is a great way to start. Start shooting whenever you can and start trying to go to styled shoots and things. I hope that answers your question. I hope you heard me. Here's our before and after. Y'all saw I kicked some of that magenta in there as per always. That's all the photo needed. It just needed some magenta. Can I send picture? Can you edit right now? I cannot. I'm not taking any photos at the moment. Watching from Macau. Welcome to the stream. Wish it snowed at my place. It's 12. Oh man. First time catching the stream. Hello, hello, welcome. I just got some Yamaha HS8s. Bro, they're so good. I have the HS7s. I'm sure y'all saw them in the back of my videos. I've wanted the HS7s or 8s for the longest time. My room's not big enough to have 8s. Like, I didn't really need all that. But yeah, I got the white 7s. I got this Novation 61 key controller thing. I got all my, got my chill hop. Got to rep out chill hop all day. Oh, actually, I just got this other thing too. Except the box got ruined when they shipped it to me. Little chill hop raccoon. What's crop sensor and mirrorless camera? I often hear the terms. It's a lot to explain. And see, that's the thing, y'all. When someone's like new to photography and y'all are talking all this craziness, obviously it's good to know, but on the same end, it's like, how important is it really if you just want to take good photos? But so the sensor is the part of the camera that actually collects the photo information. It collects the light and creates the photo. And there's different sizes. And basically different sizes give you different attributes and lets in more light. So crop sensor versus full frame is just talking about the size of the sensor. And then mirrorless is a camera that doesn't use an actual mirror on the inside for the viewfinder, so that you're looking at the actual what you're taking a photo of off of a mirror, like old school cameras used to do, old school SLRs. And that's the best explanation you're gonna get from me right now, because it's a lot and people harp into it too much. I could go on about that forever. People care too much about that stuff. Look, we got a Brenizer. Is Tara in here? Thank you for submitting a Brenizer. How fun. Pulled it off pretty good too. I don't know what happened down here though. May have missed focus. Sometimes if you don't hold the focus right the whole way through, it like messes up the Brenizer. Cause yeah, you can see back here too, some stuff is in focus and not. So maybe the camera like refocused at some point, but other than that, this is great. Look at that chromatic aberration. That's pretty bad, actually. Like I could see it zoomed out like this. That's when you know the chromatic aberration's real bad. I'm jealous of your raccoons. He's a cool little raccoon guy. He has headphones. When I can expect your upcoming WPPI stream? I don't know if I'm streaming from WPPI. I have presentations. Hey John, shot my first wedding this week. I wouldn't have been able to do it without your video. Awesome. That's awesome. North Carolina sun hitting. It really is not though. It's cloudy. Super overcast. Oh goodness. Oh goodness. Oh. Oh. We got a subject select. Yeah, it looks like something weird happened in this Brenizer. Like the camera refocused or something. And that kind of stuff does happen if you're not careful. The Brenizer technique is kind of a weird one to pull off sometimes. Here's our before and after. Chromatic aberration. It's like screaming. It's just like chromatic aberration just everywhere. Yep, cloudy and NC. Actually, I like it because the light's all nice and even in my room. You heard anything about Narbox? Been waiting to... I haven't heard anything. So, the story for that, since we're live streaming, the first thing for me that kind of signaled something was happening with Narbox, which is way before Petapixel even said anything about it, was they stopped their affiliate program. This was a while ago. This was like a year or two. So I was on the affiliate program, and again, I don't affiliate things that I don't use. I literally, look, my Narbox is right here by me because I was just using it. I use it all the time. People try to, oh, you're a YouTuber, so you just know. I actually use the stuff, but so I'm on the affiliate program because you may as well get paid if you like something. You're gonna talk about it, right? And so they stopped the affiliate program, and I was immediately like, uh-oh, because this is such a small niche product, but on the same end, I don't think anybody understands it. So from the general public's view, this is a mad expensive external hard drive. I could get something cheaper. Why don't I just use my laptop and an external hard drive? What's the point of something like this? Oh, that's cool that it has an SD card slot on it, but it's mad expensive. So when I saw that they stopped doing affiliate, I was pretty much like, oh, they're probably not making enough sales. And then between everything being backed up, like all the supply chains being messed up, I was like, yeah, they're probably done. Also too, I think at one point during the pandemic, I can't remember where Narbox is, but whatever, I think they're in Australia and they weren't supposed to leave, but their CEO like dipped on a yacht and tried to go to another country or something. And so there was a whole issue with that too. I don't know what's happening. But yeah, after seeing what Petapixel was talking about and the fact that I knew that they stopped the affiliate program a while ago, I was like, yeah, they're probably done. Because from a business perspective, I don't see them making a lot of sales like that. Because again, it's only people who really understand the product or people who travel all the time who get it. Everyone else is gonna be like, this thing is mad expensive. Why don't I just get an external hard drive with like double the size of space for the same price? Here's our before and after here. Cranked up that magenta. Oh. Oh no, you got COVID? I'm sorry. I hope you feel better. Best setting. So I'm gonna try my best not to rant, but I don't believe in best settings. There's no such thing as best settings. Settings are the type of thing that are per situation, and you have to learn the camera and how the light works. So again, I'm not gonna sit here and rant on forever because I could totally rant, but I don't believe in best settings for anything. Also, I'm not familiar with the Canon RP at all, so the only settings that can be set for anything are like system preference stuff inside of your camera. But if we're talking about like shutter speed and aperture and ISO, there's no settings. That's why I hate when photographers teach like, here are the settings for wedding photo. There's no settings. There's general guidelines and practices, but there are no right settings. There's no right or wrong in photography. It's an art. You can do whatever you want to. As long as you're getting great photos, like literally do whatever you want to. Again, the way I explain to people about that too, is it's kind of like Ryan Brenizer, which again, he did not create the Brenizer technique, but he widely popularized it based on doing things not the right way. You know, he was like, let me take an 85 or longer lens, and instead of taking a close-up portrait, let me take multiple shots like a panoramic and merge them together for this cool look so that I can still get the blurry background I would like from a long lens, but a wide shot from a wide lens at the same time. Most people, I'm sure, when he was doing it, were like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? That's not how, hey, why don't you just shoot it with a wide lens? So there's no settings. What's your editing workflow? Do you have to go to Photoshop often? I do not. I rarely go to Photoshop. Actually, the way you see me editing now is my editing workflow. Like, that's how I do weddings too. I pretty much am just coming in real quick, hitting photos, and then if they're from the same scene, I'm copying the settings over. This is a great shot. I love that makeup. How cool. So one thing with something so symmetrical like this is when I do the upright, but I do it to auto to make sure that it like straightens everything. Javi and Eve, welcome to the stream. Welcome back. Good to have you again. This photo feels like it's too warm. Yeah. And there's actually too much magenta for once. Just a little bit too much. This might work as a black and white as well. I don't know. I think the color was better. Yeah, the color had more going on. Black and white's cool, but that color's popping. I forgot to send it for. Oh. Would you ever do a seminar in North Carolina? I've been thinking. I want to. So yeah, I really want to. Me and the homies love your work and would attend if you ever do one. That'd be awesome. What's your opinion about Luminar Neo AI? I have not used it enough to have an opinion. I have used it though, and it seems kind of cool. I need to use it again. Too much magenta. How? John, are you feeling okay? Oh, I don't know. Something's wrong. Beautiful shot. This looks like father walking the bride in. Pretty backlit here, so we'll see. Oh, look at that. That's why I crushed my highlights. You see how much it saved? Look, the mountains were near gone. So we need magenta and we need warmth. And we'll go ahead and do subject select and pull them shadows up just a tad. Drop. There. So here's our before and after. Do you have a video on how you organize your files and catalogs? I don't, but I'm working on a Lightroom course, so I can go in depth on all that stuff for y'all. And you know, if and whenever y'all see me releasing courses, you know, I'm not out here just trying to get money. I'm really not. On the same end though, I do have a family to feed. So what I'm trying to do on my channel is I want to give as much information as possible, but then whenever I'm gonna go like fully in depth, like really like lay it out for y'all, that will be stuff that will be paid content. But I'm gonna keep it as reasonable as possible, because teaching is like, it's a passion of mine. So for me, this is not like, you know, you see people making courses and it's obvious that they're just like, ha ha, trying to get your money. You know, like, no, I want to really share as much knowledge as I can, which is why I have 3-hour videos on YouTube, and I'm not hurt like, oh, you know, I'm sure so many people, especially other people who sell stuff, are probably looking at that like, bro, like why do you have a 3-hour video on YouTube? You could have sold that for at least like $50. To me, it's not in depth enough. Like if I do a course on wedding photography, I'm going to show the settings to all my photos. I'm going to show before and afters of all my photos. I'm going to talk about exactly what I was thinking, why I was there, where the light's coming from, how I'm shooting. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go in. Those videos are pretty much like a very high level overview. So you can learn a lot from it. But when I teach, I'm going to be like in it. You know what I mean? So yeah, whenever y'all see some paid courses, that's going to be the difference. It's not just going to be high level. It's going to be like hours of me just being like, let's talk about this whole thing so you really get it. So focus is, no, it's good. It's because the ISO is not high. Why does it look like that? I guess the focus was missed, just a tad. But to me, this is black and white. I love this foreground. Again, I love foreground blur. Gorgeous shot. Are you still on Wedding Wire? I am not. I guess I'm not on the Knot either. I looked it up the other day. And I still have a page on there, but I'm not paying for it anymore. I probably still have a page on Wedding Wire too, but yeah, I don't pay for that stuff anymore. There's me on the Knot. Was it worth it? It was at first. I felt like the first year or two was good, and then after that, it was just like, what is this? It just felt like all the inquiries were like bad or fake. Yeah, eventually it got, and especially too, if you end up like over time raising your prices, you'll price yourself out of stuff like Wedding Wire and the Knot. It's harder to find couples through there, because I feel like the higher end couples who are paying more, I don't know, they find things very differently. They find stuff through word of mouth or through like a high level magazine or something of that sort. Do you like Mag Mod better than the Godox AKR 1? I don't need, what is that? Godox AKR 1. What is this? Oh, cool. They got their own little thing. This looks like too much. I don't know. So, okay. So, just looking at this, I would say yes, I like Mag Mod better. I've never been a fan of doing my flash like this because it still makes the flash very direct-ish. Because basically from that, you're pointing your flash up, it's hitting this reflector and then blasting it out. It's about the same thing that a Mag Mod does, but I don't know, the way the Mag Mod does it is just so good. But I don't know if Mag Mods fit on those new Godoxes with the round tops like that. You do Google or social media? I mess around with social media, mainly Instagram, but if you've looked at my Instagram, I don't even post like that. I'll go weeks and weeks without posting. Beautiful shot. I wish it was a little bit lower so I got more context to like her outfit. This is gonna kill the blues. My blues are kind of, oh no, it didn't do it. I don't even know my own preset. Oh no, it did kill the blues. Look, the purples are gone. This happens to me sometimes. And I'll have a couple be like, hey bro, there was purple in this shot. And then I have to go in and be like, hold on. Hold on, y'all. Singapore in the house, welcome. But yeah, I don't really advertise on social media. Using it though is good. Do you ever struggle with multiple folders you get importing from Fuji? My photos are separated in random folders sometimes. No. Well, they'll be in separate folders on the SD card, but when I import them, that doesn't happen. Have you ever heard of a company called Snapper? I feel like I have, but I don't remember. Y'all hit me with the deep cut questions of all these things I've never heard of. Great shot. So Lightroom didn't know what to do because of the red, but I actually do like it around there. It just needs to be warmed up a tad bit. There we go. Awesome shot. Here's our before and after. I've been off socials for a minute. Would you say that it's necessary for gathering clients? It definitely helps. Even just like, basically at the end of the day, the more you can show of yourself as a brand, the more you can show your brand, the more your couples get to know you, the easier it is for them to book you. So even surprisingly enough, YouTube is working like that for me as well. I'm getting a lot of inquiries from people who either watch the channel or have found it somehow. So yeah, just social media is probably the most organic and easiest way to advertise, basically. Venue preferred programs, those are probably the better places to be too. Aside from the Knot and stuff. Good old clean ISO 100. Great shot. Here's our before and after. The Uber of photography, Snapper? Now I gotta look it up. Snapper. Oh, it's one of those sites. So these kind of sites are half and half. However, they can be good to start building your portfolio and still get paid. Like I started with Thumbtack, which is the same kind of thing. The problem is that a lot of the people who use that site, especially because of how the website itself advertises, are going to be cheaper people. Because that's what like Snapper and Thumbtack, they're like, come on over here and you can get cheap photography. But when you're starting and you're trying to build a portfolio, it is like a great way to be able to do stuff and still get paid at the same time. Because that's how I started. And what I would do is instead of trying to book the high level stuff, because that's what Thumbtack would take more money from, I would book like easy stuff like engagements, and then try and convert those engagement couples into wedding couples, which paid off for me because then I would bypass Thumbtack charging me more because I was trying to book a wedding. The Magmod Magsphere has been out of stock everywhere. I've been looking. Yeah, I actually just saw that on B&H. It says discontinued. But so Magmod just released their newer softbox, like the bigger one. So I don't know. I don't know what's happening. Like I have no idea what is going on. Because on their website, they still have it. So I'm assuming maybe they're making a new version. I wish they would sponsor me or something. Y'all are so great because you keep hitting them up on Instagram or and Twitter and stuff, and y'all keep posting them. But I still haven't like heard from them. And I'm like, am I not enough? Don't you want to be my friend? It's always funny, people be watching my videos. Oh, looks like you're just trying to sell Magmod stuff. No, it's really good. I like it. I wish I was getting paid. You know? No, they don't pay me. Yeah, they must be making a new version. That's the only answer. Bro, I'm about to hit them up right now and be like, so I see the Magsphere's been out of stock and all I ever talk about is the Magsphere. Y'all got a new one? You want to give it to me so I can do a video about it? Do you shoot any other weddings, and how many weddings do you do a year? Any other weddings? Any like other stuff than weddings? I mainly shoot weddings only. And I was doing about 20-25 a year. Now with the YouTube, I'm actually trying to take less. So I'm really only trying to take 5 to 10. Spiegel voice from the Lord. I'm really bad at impersonation, so I'm not even gonna try to attempt. This is a great shot, but that lighting is rough. I don't even know if I can save this. Yeah, I always hate it when someone comments on the channel telling me that I'm just selling a product, or all I'm doing is advertising the product, and I'm like, guys, I like the product. I'm sorry. I'm not even affiliated with them. I wish I was, because at least then I would be getting some extra money. But no, I love the product that much. You know, like all my Maxsphere stuff was bought with my money. I have 4 Maxspheres. You know, it's not one of those like, oh, he just got it for free. So no. Have you ever visited Baltimore? Yeah, I've been through there a couple times. I actually, most of my time spent in Baltimore was when my ex-girlfriend, we dated for like 10 years. Is a whole story. But so she ended up going to college out in Western Carolina, which is like 5 hours from Raleigh. And I went to school in Boston. So we're like mad far. And I used to take buses to come and visit her. And it would literally take 24 hours. So Baltimore was one of the stops that we had to make. Oh my god, it was like, I'm not lying to you all when I say it was a 24-hour bus ride from Boston, because you'd have to make all these stops and things when you do a site critique. Someone was just, yeah, the next stream we'll do a website critique. Here's our before and after. I actually did save it. What is this? Nikon? Great dynamic range. Great job. We done did it. Got Vietnam in the house. I just came back from a trip to South Carolina 3 days ago. How awesome. Oh, here goes Sigma lenses. We need magenta. Too much. Here's our before and after. Didn't know you used to live in Boston. Oh yeah, I was up there for like 6 years. I went to Berklee College of Music. So yeah, I was up there for 6 years. I met my wife in Boston. She's from Cambridge. Or she lived in Cambridge. I don't know if she claims Cambridge like that, but. But yeah, I was in Boston for a hot minute. I was living in Roxbury for a while. You ever plan to switch from Fuji? Probably not. I'm very happy with the system. And at this point in my career too, like, switching all the time is a waste of money. Like, and you see it happen when you start getting photographers who are like tenured and have been doing it for a hot minute. They're not concerned with like, what's the new thing? And oh, I gotta switch. They're just like, I've been using my trusty 5D Mark III for years and it works great. Camera's like 5 years old. They don't care. The thing works, it makes money. You make more money by not upgrading your stuff all the time. That's what I just realized, because last year I got the GFX 100S and I bought like 10K worth of lenses, and then I was like, I didn't even need to spend all that money because I'm not even using the GFX like that. And I was like, great job, bro. I'm actually debating selling my 110, because the 110 is a great lens, but whenever I shoot the GFX, I'm pretty much only on the 45 and the 80. So I'm like, I may as well just sell the 110. I don't know, but it's the most expensive lens I have. And again, like I said, I'm trying to pay down my debt. I'm trying to make this money, you know? I shot a wedding in Utah on 2/22/22 and had John's wedding tutorials for playing online. Awesome. I shot a wedding on 2/22/22 as well. I'm gonna show y'all some of that next. Did you ever find out the guy that kept blocking on your wedding video. There was someone blocking me? I'm not sure what we're talking. I don't remember. Love that you're all prime all the time. I love primes. Zooms are cool. They have their advantages, but I'd rather use a prime. Here's our before and after. Yep, Tuesday. My wedding was like out in the middle of nowhere. It was like a 5-hour drive from here. So I saw this shot earlier when I looked at everything, and this is probably gonna be black and white. Just cause like, I don't know if I can save it. Oh, wow, it worked. I love how I'm in the middle. I don't know if this will, okay, it worked just fine. I still think it would be better as a black and white though. Yeah, I think I still like it better as the black and white. Also just because of the lighting in the room. There's a little bit of that like down lighting from the top there. Listen, that XT30 still goes hard. I'm gonna wear that thing out. Exactly. I love that. If the XT30 had a D-pad on it, I would really consider it for like most of my shoots. I spent almost 10K switching from DSLR to mirrorless. I'm good for that. Exactly. It's like, I'm not switching it. Everyone's like, but what about the new? Nah. I'm trying to make money. The more we go out spending money on gear, the less we have. Can you teach me to be Vietnamese? Can you teach me to be Vietnamese? I don't think so. Can you teach me to be Vietnamese? One of my best friends is Vietnamese. Whoa, Lightroom, are you good? And it's always fun hanging out with him and his family. This is a dope shot. This is awesome. Great shot. I'm guessing this is an XT3 it looks like. Yep, good old XT3. We're gonna pull these shadows up a tad, and then we're gonna cool it down just a bit. Yeah, right about there. And add some magenta. What do you think of the revamped XT3s? Debating on that. I don't think they changed anything. They basically just took the chargers out of the box. So yeah, I think for the price, those XT3s, like the newer version or whatever, that's where it's at. Like, that's literally where it's at. The XT4 is cool, but again, like, for me personally as a still shooter, that flip screen just ain't hitting. I want a tilt screen. This is XT3 35F2. This is basically the same type of shot I would take. Like, this is my file. Like, I would edit like this. But yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, the XT4 is great, but like, IBIS is a rare occasion thing. The only time I ever really use IBIS is when I'm trying to take like a creative low shutter shot. And that's it. You know, like there's no actual place that I need IBIS. And then I don't like the flip screen. So the XT4 is great. The battery life is awesome, but overall, like, I prefer the XT3 still because it has everything that I really want and like in it. It's a great camera. Here are probably the here are the most standout shots for me this time around. I didn't realize this crop was different. Got that medium format sizing on it. All right, gotta get you. Gotta get to getting, y'all. Thanks for hanging on in the stream. I'll show y'all a little bit of, let me export these real quick. Also too, something I've been doing new in live streams now is that if I like a photo, I'll hit you up and see if you're okay with me using it for the thumbnail for the next live stream. I may not be using the photo exactly for the next one since it's gonna be website critiques, but if y'all have your information on the photo, you might hear from me. I also might feature the photo on my Natural Fills Instagram page that I'm gonna start trying to use more often. So yeah, keep an eye out. You might hear from me about your beautiful photos that y'all have submitted. Here goes the export process again so y'all can see it. Here are my photos. I export them. They're gonna be JPEG quality 100. Resize, no resizing. Resolution 300 PPI. Sharpen for screen. And then we're gonna go into exposure and add sharpening and grain. Thanks for everything you do. You're mentoring in so many ways. When are you doing another live stream edit? So generally my live streams are always close to the end of the month. I usually schedule them around the last Friday or somewhere in that range. The next one, since people have talked about it enough, we might do website critiques. And then after that, I'll probably do another photo edit. So yeah, just watch on the Instagram, you know, watch on the YouTube. You'll see when that stuff gets scheduled. I may even start scheduling stuff like multiple months in advance as well. Workshop where photographers hang out? Oh yeah, that's happening sometime, definitely. So there goes my sharpening and grain. I'm just adding it to the photos. It gives it a little bit extra punch and adds some grain to it. The black and white adds a lot of grain and a lot more contrast. But the sharpening and grain on the normal photos is like very minimal, but the sharpening makes them like super crisp. Yeah, and that's it. And then after I add my sharpening and grain like that, I save it. And that's my full export process. Do a live together, small interview and edits. That'd be cool. I've always thought about having like multiple people on a live stream sometime. Okay, let me show y'all some of this wedding. Or even, what was I talking about earlier? I was talking about shooting the GFX. Will you be doing a review of the new 23? Yes, definitely. I need to do a review of the new 33 as well. I just haven't had a chance to use any of this stuff. Amanda, thank you so much. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. So this is a styled shoot I did at a hotel slash wedding venue. And I shot GFX mainly. I did also shoot, I also shot my XT3 because I wanted to get some more photos with those new Sigma lenses, but the GFX was what I mainly shot with. And I mean, this thing, this is the 81.7, like, come on, y'all. If I could shoot GFX for weddings only, I would, because this thing is beastie. And again, 100% zoom is like in there. Look at it, it's still loading. It's like, oh my goodness, the file's so big. Look at that resolution. So good. Have you ever tried Iridium? I have not. Waited 20 minutes to say hi. Thanks. I appreciate that. Welcome to the stream. How to send photos to edit. I'm not doing any photo edits now. That stuff usually happens beforehand. Thank you for selecting one of mine. It's one of the standouts. And yes, you can use mine if you'd like. Strobe photo and video. But yeah, like GFX is just so good. This is the 45. You just have so much room for cropping and everything, just everything about it is just. The real reason for your weight loss is due to no more room in the snack pantry. Can't buy no more snacks after the GFX. But yeah, like these shots are just like, look at the ones I've edited already. It's just, ugh. These black and whites go so hard. Ugh. Just, oh my goodness. So good. Nothing like a good black and white. Hi John, finally caught you live. Hello. I am gonna be ending soon though, unfortunately. You caught like the last little niblet. Last little bit of my live. But yeah, if I could shoot weddings with the GFX, I would. It's just, it's a little bit too slow. Any suggestions on how to do a model call? It is the hardest. I have a hard time now, and you would think like, you know, you see me with my YouTube channel, you probably think, oh, models probably like come out of nowhere. Nah, finding models is the hardest. I mean, the biggest thing is like, make sure you're treating them like working people too. So many people be always trying to have models do stuff for free. Unless they're in need of photos, that's fine. But like, pay your models, y'all. I'm very much about that. Like, I pay my models. I don't even get like, yeah, sometimes it might not be a lot, but $50, $100 for your time and photos. You know, they're working too. It is their time also. Model Mayhem, I'm on Model Mayhem and I don't even know if it's good. I feel like Model Mayhem be feeling sleazy. Honestly, I'm about to, you know what? I'm about to go on the Instagram right now. And I'm about to ask. I'm about to ask models. We're about to do it. We're gonna make a story. Okay, here we go. On it, how you spell? Oh goodness, Stro, thank you for that super chat. Thank you so much. I almost missed it. I'm trying to figure out about Model Mayhem. I can't even spell right. Here's my poll. How do you do this? There it goes. Do 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 do. Okay. Here's my story. We'll see how models feel. I don't even think that many models follow me on Instagram anyway, so it's probably not gonna matter, but I'm tired, y'all. But yeah, I've been on Model Mayhem in the past. It seems cool. I feel like I get a bunch of spam on there though. So for me, I'm always kind of just like, eh. But I do need to start trying to find models more often, especially when I want to do these shoots for like products and stuff. And it's it can be hard to find models. Oh yeah, my wedding on 22/22. What is a super chat? That's where you can pay me money if you appreciate my life. But no, you can just send money to creators that you enjoy. Oh, look at watching on the iPad. All these cool Instagram mentions. So cool, y'all. But yeah, so we were talking about flashes earlier. If you appreciate my life. So I'm a big fan of the mag mod stuff. It just looks good. I love the way it flat, like, look at this stuff. You know, like, so I'm using the 50 f1. My ISO is only 500. My flash is probably at like 132. And you know, like that's the edit there. Like that's what I do. That's what I really do for my weddings. Nice clean look. Everything's lit enough. Because the mag sphere is throwing the light out close and around me, it lights up my subject that I'm closer to, and in the background I'm just picking up the ambient lighting. And that's it. Flash is not, everyone makes flash so hard. If you're doing like super cool flash lighting and like painting the world with light and stuff, flash can be hard. But if you just generally want to light your photo so it looks better, it's not hard. You just need a good modifier, which is why I swear by the mag sphere so much. The people think I'm just out here trying to sell it. You know, like and then sparkler exits. Someone was asking me, you know, about how you do them, and again, I use the Lume Cube. Lume Cube is my go-to for sparkler exits because it just works. And again, everyone's like, oh no, crop sensor in low light. Low light doesn't mean bad light, you know? So here is this was shot with a Lume Cube and the new 33 f1.4. So most of the light here is coming from the sparklers themselves and my Lume Cube. I also have the Lume Cube set to a warmer tone. So because of that, when I white balance now, I can pull back the white balance and my couple doesn't look weird. Their skin tones are good. And the sparklers get this nice cool white tone, which is like, I love that. And that's it. Like, look at that. No flash. Just a Lume Cube. An LED light. Also too, what's nice, one of the hardest parts about sparkler exits, especially if you're using flash, is you can't really see anything through your camera anymore. And you gotta take like test shots to make sure that your shots look right. Whereas if you're using an LED light, technically the way you're using it is almost the same as shooting natural light, because the light is consistent and it's there and you can see what it looks like. So at this point, this has been my go-to. I think I messed up this time because I've been trying to, I want to start using 2 Lume Cubes on both my cameras. Because what generally happens, right, is your couple comes through and I'm shooting long at first, right? So I'm standing pretty far away from them. I'm fairly back. You see here, they started getting too close to me at this point. I'm like trying to back up, but they're a little too close. And then I make them stop. So that's where I get the shot. This is the shot. And then after that, yeah, they start coming closer again, and it's too close. So this wedding, I ended up using my other camera with the flash on it, and so the settings are like off. Oh, I did get the good catch though. But look at how, because this was shot wider and also with a flash, you lose the ambiance of the sparklers. Also, I won't be able to white balance it the same because the flash is cool. So you see now, if I drop everything to get those cool sparklers, the couple's like blue. This is black and white. But yeah, I don't like the way sparkler exits look with flashes. I think they look great with the Lume Cube. They just look really cool. So this is my overall preview that I made for the couple, like a couple of the photos that I went ahead and edited. Oh, this is what I was talking about with the ring shot. Try and aim it at the ring itself and stop down as much as you can. I could have stopped down even more. Looks like you used -1 exposure. Can we see some of the couple portraits with the mag mod? So I don't have any couple portraits with the mag mod because I usually am only shooting flash when it's dark. So like this is all just natural light. So basically, yeah, it's dark at this point. Like it's pretty late. Hold on, let me. CF Visual, thank you so much for that super chat. What's the difference between using a Lume Cube versus a small square LED light? Like the aperture makes, for instance. There's no difference. They're pretty much the same. They're the same. I just like the Lume Cube. The price is nice. Where's my Lume Cube? But yeah, there's really no difference. I just really like the Lume Cube. Now, again, see, and I'll be honest, I am affiliated with them. So I do get kickbacks when you all buy Lume Cubes, but I like it. I literally use it. So this is the Lume Cube Go. It's the bigger size. It's not the biggest size. But personally, this is the one I like better. The Mini works, but it doesn't kick out as much light as this one does. And then again, this one is bicolor. So you see, this is... Again, I'm talking about it for the wedding. That's why it's set so warm like this, because I literally just used this. And I have not changed the settings since. So, I'm at 60% power, but it goes up to 100. And then, you know, if I want to, I can make it a cool light. Or I can make it a warm light to match those sparklers. And yeah, they're just easy to use. They hold the charge really well. They charge off a USB-C. But there really is no difference. They're basically all the same thing. What's the difference between flat and matte in presets? I would assume it's just like the contrasting on the photo. Off-camera flash at all? No, actually, y'all can see in this wedding I stopped using. I hate off-camera flash, y'all. So let's see. So I set up off-camera flash, right? Yeah, so I had set it up. This is me testing, see? So here's one of the flashes, and I have it pointed directly out at the dance floor, and you get all these stupid shadows. I hate that. That's what I hate about off-camera flash. Also, what else I hate about it is the fact that, like, photographers are so worried about it being dark that they throw so much light onto the dance floor that it kills the ambiance of the room. It just, like... Everything's like mad bright, and it's like, but it's a party. Like everything is not mad bright right now. So, and here's my other flash. So they're pointed like at angles. And I had them pointed at the actual, I had them pointed at the dance floor at first, but then I changed it to kind of lift them up a little bit. And I don't know, I wasn't feeling it. So I did the intros with the off-camera flash, and it's whatever. My settings on my on-camera cameras were off too. So then I adjusted my on-camera flash settings. So now you're seeing it's looking a little bit more lit and better. That's mainly for my on-camera flash. And then whenever I try and shoot wide, you get this stupidness that's only hitting like one area because I have it bouncing. And it just like made some of my shots look dumb. Like most of the light here is coming from the flash on my camera. And like, yeah, this is giving a little bit of backlight, but it's not really doing much of anything. And you know, that just looks dumb to me. It's only on one side. I can't. So yeah, you see I turned it off. Because I was like, so now I'm just using the flash on my camera and that's it. And this is all just one flash on my camera. I love how the background looks. We're getting enough of that. You know, when I go to edit it, everything looks great. And like, okay, yeah, I'm raising it by 2 stops of exposure. But again, I feel like sometimes people get too extra about getting the 100% best image quality. You know, like, yeah, okay, sometimes my photos are a little grainy and whatever, but I would rather have a cute shot like this than have perfect ISO and perfect whatever. Like this still works. It's still doable. The photo looks great. And my couples aren't gonna look at the photo and be like, ah, oh my goodness, it's more grainy than it needed to be because you could have, you know, like, no. Hey, all your unedited pictures look dark. Do you like underexposed then right in the middle? I think normally when it comes to nighttime stuff, I just end up underexposing because of the way I shoot the flash, but I'm not doing that on purpose, really. That's just kind of how I end up shooting. So yeah, one flash on camera. That's usually how I do it. And it works just fine. And yeah, okay, maybe the image quality is not the best that it could be, but again, none of your clients are gonna look at the photos and complain that the image quality is not the best image quality that could ever be produced. No one's going to do that. And again, that's why when I talk about it, when it comes to like newer photographers, that's why I really harp on that stuff, because I don't want newer photographers to get like messed up and not, you know, enjoy their photography and learn photography well because they're too concerned about stupid stuff like getting the perfect image quality, which no one will care about. No one's gonna care about that except for some old hateful photographer who like is sold on the fact that things have to be a certain way. They're the only people who care. Everybody else is looking at your photos and going, wow, that's great. And unless it's like clearly obvious that the image quality is jacked, or clearly obvious that you missed the focus, or just clearly obvious that there's something in the photo that's like wonko, those are the only things that are gonna get pointed out. But yeah, so this is the wedding I did on 2/22/22. And again, I didn't really use off-camera flash. I just used the mag sphere as my modifier. And yeah, it was a good time. Great wedding. This actually, he watches the channel too. So he found me and booked me for his wedding from me being on YouTube, because he shoots wedding himself also. But yeah, absolutely beautiful wedding day. Fun times overall. Great wedding party. Everyone was awesome. I did a little bit of breakdancing at the wedding. It was a fun time. But that's gonna be it for today. Like I said, I have a lot of stuff I have to do. I have a lot of prepping I have to do for WPPI. I gotta still work on my presentations. I gotta pack and get ready for that. So if any of y'all are gonna be at WPPI, I guess I will see you there. And thanks again for hanging out on this stream. Don't forget to keep an eye on the channel, keep an eye on the Instagram for the next stream. And for the next one, we'll do website critiques. So that'll be a fun time. We'll get to look at websites and really see what they look like and everything from there. But again, y'all, thanks for hanging out. I hope everyone's doing well. I hope everyone's feeling great. And yeah, that's it for now. I'll catch you all next time. All right, peace.